Merry Christmas, Aunt Wendy. How you doing? Okay, for me, technically, it's not Christmas right now. It's like a week before. But I'm recording this now, and then I will upload it on either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I'm not sure which exactly yet. But by now, you should have had time to open your Christmas presents. If you haven't opened your Christmas presents, please go do so now. Please go do so now. I will wait. Okay, I'm going to assume your presents are open now. So here's the reason for the presents. I actually got you and Mom the same present. As I have come, I have been left with the impression that you and Mom are both interested in the tea I serve. Mom has even said as much. She used to live here with me. Now she's not, but while she was living here, I was making tea on an almost daily basis. She got used to having good tea. Now she's not living here. She's tried tea from tea bags, doesn't like it. She's even asked me to put some of my tea into bags for her. That's not happening. I refuse to put my tea into tea bags. So, but I still wanted to come up with a way that was less intimidating for someone who is just getting into good tea to make good tea, because I have a lot of folderol for my tea stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I love my folderol. I've got multiple gaiwans. I have multiple ishing pots. I've got multiple fairness pictures. Um, okay, I don't have more than, well, if you count my travel set, yes, I actually do have multiple tea trays. And I love all this folderol, but I can see how this would be intimidating for people. So, my presents to you and Mom are a way of getting rid of these. So, let's get rid of these. Okay, we've gotten rid of that stuff now. So let's talk about what we've got here now. I've gotten rid of the tea tray. I've gotten rid of all the folderol that I personally love, but I realize might be intimidating for someone who's just trying to get into good tea. Instead of the normal teacups, all I have here is a cup. Just a regular old coffee cup, coffee mug with a handle on it. Essentially, Aunt Wendy, whatever you've been drinking your tea out of to this point, whatever cup you have been using, use that. That's the key thing here. Use that. I've got a bowl. This bowl is going to take the place of my tea tray. Whatever wastewater I make is going to get thrown into this. You know what? If you're making tea by the kitchen sink, go ahead and dump the wastewater down that. This is probably only going to see one use today. Which brings us to the packages you got from me as a Christmas present. You got two packages from me. One came from a tea seller in Minnesota. We'll get back to that one in a second. The other came from Mayleaf in London. Apparently London is that way. Who knew? In that package from Mayleaf are going to be two items. Item number one is a red box that looks something like this, except whereas mine says oolong tea because oolongs, it's what I do. But yours is going to say, I think it says sampler on it, or Mayleaf sampler, or something. Essentially, it contains samples of 12 different teas that you can try and see what you like. So, but the other thing in the package for Mayleaf is probably the single most important thing for the Christmas present. That is this box right here. This is the Connoisseur Tea Brewer and Decanter from Mayleaf. There are not very many items like this. This is the only thing like this that I could find from London. It is a way to brew tea simply, gong fu tea, simply at home or at the office or whatever. Let's open it up for a second. Or let's open up. We can open it up for more than a second. I should point out, I've already opened this once. I've washed it, so it is all ready to go right now at this exact moment. This is actually the one I've got for Mom. I hope Mom doesn't mind the fact that I'm going to be using hers today. So this is it right here. It has got this little brewing chamber in it that we will fill up with tea. It's got some little notches right there, and there's some little notches on the top of the decanter. So it kind of goes on there and sticks with cricket. So now you can just go like that and pour from it. You got a little button right there. And what's actually most important, or one of the most important things, which makes this thing work, is this little button right there. we're gonna fill this up with leaves, fill it up with water, brew for a certain amount of time, press this button, and all the tea will decant into this pitcher down below. So, let's make some tea. But before we do, let's get to that second package. This is from the tea cellar in Minnesota, because in there, I think I ordered 100 grams for you. I don't really remember at this point. You should find some little green, probably 4 little green packets like this, which I think are each hold 25 grams. Except whereas this one says Show-Me white tea on it, yours is going to say Big Red Wooey Oolong from the Lee family. Yes, if we're going to pick a tea we're passionate about, let's pick the tea that I now have 750 grams of, because I love this stuff. And that's the tea we're going to be making in this Gong Fu brew today. And I should point out, I have never actually made any tea with this before. So let's start with the tea. Let's start opening up the tea, if I can. I love the smell of that stuff. Take time to smell the tea. Just actually, before we do that though, we'll leave it open for a second. We should warm up our teapot. So, I've got my kettle of hot water here. Now, let's talk about this kettle for a second. I have got a kettle here that I'm using to heat my water to specific temperatures. But you know what, Wendy? I don't know if you have one of these or not. I'm going to work under the assumption that you don't, but maybe you do. But you know what? However you've been heating water up for the tea to this point, do that. If you've been heating your water in a tea kettle on the stove, do that. That's kind of why I also selected this Big Red Robe as a tea for you to try this first time, because I figured that it handles hot water really well. So, all right, so now, I'm not sure if you can tell from here, but we got a bunch of water up here in the top of brewing chamber. I'm going to press this little button on the top and watch what happens. All the water that was up here in this brewing chamber has now decanted into this pitcher. Now we're going to use this bowl. Okay. This is now warm. So let's put some tea in there. Now I am just going to do this by eyeball. I'm not going to measure it or anything. And this particular shape of tea is a strip oolong. And I am just going to fill this chamber up a little more than half full. What do we got there? And we'll put one more in. There we go. We'll go back. If you were doing a ball rolled oolong, like a Taiwan yin or something, I really do not recommend putting this much in the way of leaf in it. Just put like just a little bit, maybe a quarter full in the bottom of it, because those ball rolled oolongs, they expand a lot. But we don't have that tonight. Today we've got a strip oolong that I love. And so what I'm going to do now is I basically, oh wait, hold on, let's take a minute, because we just put this into a hot infuser. Let's take a moment and smell this tea. Now that the leaves are warm, they smell more. I smell chocolate. I love the smell of this stuff. It smells even better once the leaf has been wet too. Okay, let's do the wash now. So I'm just going to pour enough water in here just to cover up the leaves. There we go. And now I'm going to push the button. There we go. We have decanted the wash. We're not going to drink this. This is the wash. Okay. Now, I'm going to put hot water in here. We're going to brew for 20 seconds. And after 20 seconds, we are going to push the button. All right, here we go. All right. That's been about 20 seconds. Let's push the button. I am pushing the button. All the tea decanted. I'm going to let it go. And there we go. Look at that. We have got our tea in the thing here, in the decanter. And I'm just going to pour that in my little thingy bob here. That's it. We've made tea. But first, before I taste that tea, I want to take a minute and smell the leaves and take a look. It smells so good. Well, let's actually taste the tea for a second. That is good. Hot, which I guess I was expecting. So now there does exist the possibility, however remote it might be, that this tea that I like so much, you're not that big a fan of. It happens. I find that hard to believe, but you know, I guess that's why the phrase, you know, not your cup of tea actually exists. But let's say you're not a big fan of this tea. Fine. Fine. That's one of the reasons you have this box. There's 12 teas in there. Go ahead and try them, see which tea you like. And just because I use this amount of leaf, which by the way, I think you know, if you notice, when I filled this up, I had just a little bit more than half full, and the leaf has expanded so that it's, I would say it's more than 3/4 full now. But as I was starting to say, take a moment, you know, try the tea this way. If you think it's too strong, maybe put a few, next time you make it, put less leaf in, or maybe don't brew it for quite as long. Experiment with it. Eventually you'll dial into how you like it. I have found 20 seconds works very well. I get a result I particularly like. Actually, let's do it one more time. When you take the tea into your mouth, don't just sip it and then swallow it. Sip it, kind of hold it in your mouth a little bit, kind of swish it around a little bit so you coat the insides of your mouth. Breathe out through your nose while you've got the tea in there. And one of the things a good tea should have for it well, one of the things I like about tea, let's put it that way, is the finish, is the aroma that you can taste in your mouth after you've swallowed the tea, or while you're still swallowing the tea. So I hope you enjoy your present, Aunt Wendy, and my heart is not going to be crushed if you're not a big fan of the Big Red Robe. I like that. There are some other teas. As a matter of fact, actually, the whole duck shit oolong thing I'm really, really starting to like the duck shit oolong. Thing is, though, that tea is about twice as expensive as this particular tea I've been getting. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. Obviously, I've got to keep a stash of duck shit oolong around. This brewer worked exactly the way I thought it was supposed to. It's all. In fact, let's make another steeping right now. Even though I'm not done with this first cup, let's make another steeping. Maybe you're making tea for multiple people. Use smaller cups. You know, distribute it. And I think I'm going to brew for the second. I think we'll go for about, let's try 25 seconds this minute. Let's add about 5 seconds to it. I have to admit, one of the things on my little tea kettle I've got here does have a countdown timer, so I'm actually using the countdown timer to count up. When it says 25, I'm going to press the button. So let's get ready to press the button, shall we? And it's close enough. Pressing the button now. And I'm not sure if you can see the tea has now decanted in there. There we go. I don't know if you can see the color on this because I've got the sunlight shining right through these, so I can see the deep orange-red color of the liquor, and it's wonderful. You should be able to see the color in it here as well. So. Anyway, the whole point of this was to show you that gong fu tea is not complicated. If you really get into it, yeah, get the Gaiwans, get the Yixing pots, get the fairness pictures, get the tray. I love that stuff. That stuff is fun. That is part of that is part of the whole enjoyment of tea. But let's face it, the main thing about tea is the tea. It's the tea. This is a great, simple way to brew the tea if you don't happen to want to have all the folderol that I have. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, Aunt Wendy. I will talk to you Christmas Day. This video will go up either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I'm not sure which. I'm going to do a little bit of light editing to it. I've had a couple different takes in here as like the cat walked across and then I didn't have all my stuff and blah, 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 and organize it. But before we go, I do want to make one special thing. I want to say thank you so much to the folks at Mayleaf. I was kind of needy with them because apparently, so I ordered your goodies on Black Friday, the Black Friday weekend, the weekend after Thanksgiving here in the States. And it was a big deal. I got free shipping with it, which I loved. I would order stuff from Mayleaf if I could get free shipping more often. But the main thing was I was a very needy thing because apparently once the package from London hit the shores of Canada, it disappeared. Apparently, that's a Canadian tracking thing. I don't know. I don't know. But I became needy. I lost it. Couldn't figure out where the package was. There was an attempt to make a delivery that you weren't home for, so it went back to the post office. Yada yada yada. And I had a long chain of emails going back to Mayleaf, NOLA mostly. And eventually, at one point, I called NOLA, and I just can't say enough nice things about the customer service at Mayleaf. They were amazing. NOLA was amazing. I just want to thank the people at Mayleaf so much. They made it. They really made me feel better in my neediness. And then they said, Keith, it'll be okay. They were very nice. I can't say enough kind words about them. Anyway, Merry Christmas, Aunt Wendy. I will talk to you. If I haven't talked to you on Christmas Day yet, I will talk to you soon. I love you, and to everybody else who may or may not be watching this, I hope you have a wonderful day and have a very good tea day. And Aunt Wendy, are we having fun yet?